Okay, number one, we need to label the y-intercept, the vertex, and the axis of symmetry. So we probably should start out with the axis of symmetry. Formula for axis of symmetry, remember?
No.
Negative b over 2a. Okay? So y or x equals negative b over 2a would mean, what's b?
10x, 10x.
Just the 10 over 2a. Should be negative 10 over negative 10. Should be 1. So x equals 1 is going to be our axis of symmetry. And then we plug that back in to find the y value to know where the vertex is on that axis of symmetry. Negative 5 times 1 squared plus 10 times 1 would be negative 5 plus 10, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we know it's going to open down. What is the y-intercept? 0. How do you know that? Because c is 0. There is no c, so that means it was 0. So that means 0, 0 would be the y-intercept. Okay? So if it crosses the axis or the y-axis right there, and its vertex is right here, and we know it opens down, and we know this is an axis of symmetry, means it's symmetric. I know I got another point right there. So there's my y-intercept. Here's my vertex. My axis of symmetry. And just because I go above and beyond, I'm going to actually draw the whole parabola. Well, it says to graph, so I guess I'm not going too far above and beyond. Yeah. Number 2, determine whether this equation has a maximum or minimum, and find that value. Does it open up or down? Down. So if it opens down, let's draw a picture so we kind of see it in our head. There's the XY axis. It opens, I don't know where it's at, it opens something like this, opens down. That means it's going to have a maximum. Where?
It's gonna what is the maximum?
What's going to be the y value?
1, because it's.
That's the y-intercept. I don't know. I put it there, but I don't know that that's where it's at. Okay? I don't know where I just kind of got a rough picture in my head. I haven't got any real points yet. The vertex is at hk, and I have those formulas over here for h and k. H we know is negative b over 2a, and k is our c value minus a h squared. So negative b over 2a would be negative 6 over 2 times negative 3, which would still be 1. And our k value would be our c value, which is 1, minus a, which is negative 3, times h, which was 1, squared. So that would be 1 plus 3, which would be 4. So our maximum would be at 1, 4, HK, or you could just say 4. 4 is the biggest, the highest it'll ever go. It actually looks something more like that, probably. Number 3, we want to solve x squared equals 6x minus 8 using graphing. If the exact roots can't be found, state the consecutive integers between which the roots are located. So if you're going to put this into the calculator and use graphing, you first would need to get it equal to 0. You can't put it in like that. So if we wanted to subtract the 6x, add the 8, then we would end up with x squared minus 6x plus 8 equal to 0. And then you can put that into y equals if you want and get points on the calculator or points on the graph that'll actually fit on this grid. So go ahead and do that. You can write it with squiggly brackets, but don't write it like this. This is a no-no. The 0.24 is right here, and that has nothing to do with this problem. If it has parentheses, you're telling someone the 0.24. Okay? All right, it's been a little while since we did factoring, so let's go over that. Make a T-chart, and we need to set it equal to 0. So 5x squared plus 13x minus 6 equals 0. And then we take A times C. 5 times negative 6 would be negative 30. We need two numbers that will multiply together to give me negative 30 and add together to give me 13. What would that be?
You get 13. Or you saying you get 13 and then
I need to get 13 when I add. I need to get negative 30 when I multiply. Very good. 15 and negative 2. So that's what I'm going to take that C or that B term, 5x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus 6 equals 0. I take the 13 and I break it up as a 15 and a negative 2. That way I can factor the first two, factor a 5x out of that. I'm left with x plus 3. And over here I bring down that sign. I'm going to take a 2 out, and I'm left with x plus 3 again, equals 0. And then this, since these are the same, I'll write that one time, and then I'll take the factored things, things that I factored out, write that as my second term equal to 0. But wait, there's more, which means either x plus 3 is 0, or the 5x minus 2 is 0. Subtract 3, so you got one answer of x equals negative 3. And the other one, you have 2 steps to get it finished. Add 2, and then divide by 5. It's 2 divided by 5, just 2/5, or 0.1, either way. No, sorry, 0.4. So those would be your two solutions. The length of a rectangle is 7 inches longer than the width. The area is 144. What are the dimensions? Yeah, you can probably do this trial and error. But if we want to use algebra, here's how we do it. We got our length, and we have our width. Width we don't know, but we know the length is equal to the width plus 7. So usually the area is length times width. But what we're going to do is substitute 144 for the area. We're going to substitute in W plus 7 for the length, and we're going to leave the width just W. Then we distribute the W. We get 144 equals W squared plus 7W. Set it equal to 0, so I'll subtract 144 from both sides. And now I need to factor that. I need two things that will multiply together to give me 144 negative, and they'll add together to give me 7. What do you think that would be? We're going to need the 16 to be the positive one, and the 9 to be the negative one. So when we add them together, we end up with a positive 7. So that ends up factoring into W minus 9, W plus 16, which means the width could be 9, or the width could be negative 16. Could the width be negative 16? No. But it could be 9. And if it was 9, would it make sense that the other one would be positive 16? Yes. There's 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. So those are the dimensions. It's a 9 by 16. 9 times 16 is 144. Subtract, you get 7. Now, you probably could have done it a lot easier, a lot faster using trial and error. So number 6, we got negative 6 and 4 as the roots. So that means if we work our way backwards, it started out as, or ended up as W equals negative 6, or X equals negative 6 and X equals 4. Which means the step before that, which is start out before that, would have been X plus 6 equals 0 and X minus 4 equals 0. Which means before that, it was probably X plus 6 times X minus 4 equals 0. And if we FOIL that, we get X squared minus 4X plus 6X minus 24. And we combine the middle two terms, X squared plus 2X minus 24 equals 0.